right, there's Daniel, there's me. What is up, App Nation? Welcome to another weekly Friday YouTube Live. The sun is shining, so I figured this is my normal outfit on a Friday afternoon with the sun out. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna change for you. I'm sorry, this is what you get, the real Steve. I'm super excited to have you guys on. I see a lot of people. What's up, Greg? I wanna say hi to a few people. Joe, my man, got your app as #1 on the app audit list. I know there's a few questions coming in already. So do me a favor, tell me what you're here for, what kind of questions you have. We've got my friend Daniel who's gonna talk all about how to quickly build your app idea into an MVP and the critical features that you need. You know, I've tried to preach this a lot where we talk about product is way more important than marketing in the very beginning. And Daniel's gonna talk about how do you build that really good product to just test out that MVP so that we can market. Because good marketing can't help a bad product. All right, I wanna say hi to Mira is there. What's up, Mira? Vojtech, how you guys doing? And then Joe, what's happening, Joe? I'm glad you're here. Greg, we got your app on the list as well, so thank you for that. Thank you for the promo code. I've got it locked into my stuff, my phone. Star Projectors. Timas, what's up, bro? Glad to have you guys all here. I'm so thankful, honestly, to have you guys all here. It means a lot to me. So without further ado, let me introduce my guest for today's live stream, Daniel Vasquez. He is the co-founder of Triple E Development. Go check him out. 3E Development, Daniel.com. Okay. Daniel, you got a presentation that you want to walk us through. Daniel, talk to me about this. I always hear this, and I had a call with somebody yesterday where they were talking about I have this crazy app idea, it's very localized. And I'm like, look, dude, because they're talking about a lot about marketing. What should I be doing? Should I be trying to get press and all these things? And I said, look, all you got to figure out is product market fit first and foremost, because you've got a great idea and you've got a big idea, but the way to fail on that idea is to go too far, too quick. I was like, just take it slow, because it's like, they need density. So LA, New York, they need people, and they need a lot of people in those areas to really make that app work. So what are your thoughts when you hear all these? I know you got a development firm. So what do you kind of hear? You hear all these crazy ideas too.
when we first launch, and not try to shoot too big, because when that happens, we've done it ourselves on one of our first apps that we built, and it kind of fell short. And the reason is we weren't really clear on what it is, on who our avatar was, right? You and I both talked about that. Got to be clear on that. I can show a presentation and kind of walk you through some of that. Let's see, I'm going to share my screen.
Hey, Daniel, sorry. I think I had you muted in the very beginning, so I think I think you're good now. But it's a little bit delayed on the YouTube stream, so I'm hearing all these comments about no sound. Okay, we're good now. So what Daniel was saying in the very beginning was, look, we hear all these ideas, we kind of see the same patterns developing, and so that product market fit is so important. All right, so let me give the floor to Daniel. All right, sorry guys, my bad. I need a real producer.
Maybe for those who could read lists, we might have done a good job. But yeah. So what I was saying was that we always, when we get on the phone call, usually we get on a call with the client, and they're telling us about their idea and what their goals are, but sometimes it falls short because they're not real clear on the problem they're trying to solve. So that's where we always try to start, and then we start walking them through our MVP process. And what we do is we walk them through how to select what features need to go in that MVP. If we're clear on that and we're clear on our goals in the MVP, then we're set up for success. So this is a slide deck that we got from our latest course. This is the App Blueprint process, or the App Blueprint workshop. But I'll walk you through it real quick, or skip a few slides. But so the MVP, let's all be clear on that, is a product with enough features to attract early adopter customers and validate, right? We got to validate the idea early in the product development cycle, right? So we can know how to market to our target audience. So really quickly, there's three types of, this is where it comes to the point of like, we got to be really clear on what problem we're solving or what is our goal with this MVP. When we first launch, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that our problem, that we've identified the problem and we've created the right solution for it. So that's the first thing that we want to test. The second thing that we want to test is to make sure that we have a product market fit. That's what you mentioned. And we want to make sure that we've created the right product for the right market and we know who that market is. And then we can move on to the next step, which is making sure that we are profitable. And we had this in the chat, on the App Masters chat, and it was kind of going back and forth. It was like, hey, if you know what you want to do, why even try to do an MVP? Just launch with the full product. And the reason why you wouldn't want to do that, there's a few levers. Budget, maybe your budget doesn't allow it, or you're not willing to invest on an idea that you're not sure of. Certainty, right? That brings us to certainty. Maybe you're not sure or certain whether this product or idea is going to work. And speed, maybe you don't have time, you want to get to the market quickly, and so you build an MVP so that you can at least prove the product market fit, and then you can build onto it. So those are the few reasons why. But the thing that we'll walk you through really quickly is the feature selection. This is one of my favorite things to do with our clients. And the way it works is you list all of the features in all of your idea, right? You list all the features out and you rank them by pain, by jobs, and by gains. And I mean, pain is like, what pain is this feature going to solve? And that's what we like to do, is we like to include at least 3 features that are fixing the pain for your client, for your audience, for your avatar. And then you can rank it by jobs. Well, job importance, this is where you find out what tasks or how important is this task for your avatar while they're using your app. And then you rank it by that. Gains is how is this app how is this feature making their life better? And then you rank all of those and select the top 3 from each category, or you have to have 3 from the pain depending on your budget. So the way it works like this. Which features solve the biggest pain? You want to ask yourself that. You have all your feature list on the left. For example, we take feature 3. Feature 3 goes in the biggest pain bucket. And then you ask yourself, which of these features solves the smallest pain? And then we go down, we throw it in the drawer, we shelve it because we'll add that feature into the product later. Then you ask yourself again, all right, which of these features left in the list, now that the 3 and 6 are marked off, which of these features solves the biggest pain? And then you drag number 5. You're like, yeah, feature number 5 solves the biggest pain. So you walk through this process until you're done. And then you have a pains list. Always start with the pain in your MVP. Solve the 3 biggest pains of your avatar, and you're on your road to success. So that's how we choose to do it. You walk through the same process to do jobs and gains, and now you have a feature list for your MVP. So that's the fastest way to launch with an MVP. And are there any questions about that? Can I open it up for questions?
Yeah, I mean, there's some questions that you're getting a lot of thumbs up. I gotta tell you, bro. So this is great. I love the way you broke it down, the pains, the gains, the features. There are, do this one thing here real quick. There's some questions that while we wait for them to come in, I'm gonna answer a few other questions that we got to see. So Mira, she was here and she talked about, I have a question. My one app was not updated from last 2 years and all users gone, but I have 500 ratings. Can I republish the app with the same package, with the same package name, or should I choose a new package name? Honestly, Meyer, if you can sort of update it and get that app back into the app stores, that's what I would do rather than, like submit a brand new app, because you have that legacy of the 500. So I try to update that particular app if you can. If not, try to get as close to the package name. We know that the package name does factor into the ASO keyword rankings. So think about what kind of keywords you can, if you're starting from fresh, new, think about what kind of keywords you can put into that package name. Anything to add, Daniel, on that?
No, man, that's good. You nailed it.
Okay, Cool. I love it. All right. Great to see you. I want to say some shout outs. This I screenshotted. Syed looking buff. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to send that over to my wife. Joe, I like that. Thank you, Joe. Jane's here. What's happening, Jane? It's always good to see you. So here's Tomas. I think that's his name. He says, can I get good installs by ASO without ads? I'll start off and you can jump in anytime you want, Daniel. But I think with Google, what we found is if you have ads, it actually helps your organic downloads too. The unfortunate side is when you turn off those ads, your organic goes down as well. From the iOS side, yeah, it's super simple, right? Like if you find good keywords that have low traffic, they're going to give you that boost that you need. And so iOS, less reliant on ads. You can you can do a lot of keyword optimization, still get those downloads increases. But on Google Play, we found that if you do run ads, your organic increases. And then as you stop, your organic declines as well. Anything you want to add, Daniel?
No, I was going to say, I think you can with the keywords. That's what's important, I think.
Cool.
In order to get the organic.
I'm curious to see how many people in the audience that's right now, how many of you have apps, say yes if you have apps, and no if you just have an app idea and you're just kind of figuring out like, hey, I want to build this, I want to learn more about marketing, or maybe you're in the development. So hit maybe, maybe if you're in the development process of making the app and you're in that launch process, but hit yes, put yes in the comments if you do have an app out there as well. Okay, let's get into some of the other questions that I see too, and then we'll get into an app audit. I love that stuff. I'm gonna have to take out the snippet of that presentation, put it on a video of his own. All right, Sajid asks, how much revenue should you start making before you can say you found product market fit? You want to start, Daniel?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a monetization thing. It's more about, are you able to convert a user base, or have you been able to target the user base? Am I on mute?
No, you're good.
If you've been able to target the user base like you thought, and have you been able to convert them, and about the audience or the avatar that you're trying to target. If you can nail that down, I would say that you have product market fit. Then you can start scaling your efforts to try and drive more traffic with confidence, right? Now that you know how to convert them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I don't think it's so much the revenue number as well. I think if you are starting to convert 1 or 2 a day, I think that's enough. And I would try to optimize that. I've been trying to preach this because I've seen it with clients where, if you get 100, maybe 200 downloads, that's enough to just really start focusing less on the growth, while that's still important, but really start focusing more on that conversion optimization. Because for one client, we increased conversions by 70% and revenue per download, I've been harping on this, by 46%. But now he's able to really turn on that engine. And the cool thing, Daniel, he has that revenue per download. And I'm going to share some of the tactics too for a friend of mine about how you can get growth with some ads. But he has that revenue per download number. So now he can go to like Apple search ads or any Facebook and be like, look, I have to beat this number now because I know I can convert these users. And so we increased that from it was like 50 cents to now almost $1 per download. And so now you can see like, okay, well, if I can get 50 cents, I'm really printing money here.
Yeah. Now you're just throwing fuel on the fire, Yeah.
All right. Here's a great question specifically for you, Daniel. Vojtech asks, what is the average cost for MVP app from your experience?
Okay, yeah, and it really depends on the set of features and how difficult the app is, right? Because if you're having to build, what we like to do is we like to build an MVP with a foundation that'll grow like as big as the original idea is. So we're building like a pretty big foundation, so that depends on what type of app it is. But I would say it ranges anywhere from 5,000 to 15, depending on what type of app you're trying to build. Yeah. Now, there's other creative ways where you can do it cheaper, but you have to like for example, finding a theme or a template online. Now you have to be really careful because Steve, I know you've talked about this before. Well, they don't Apple or Google Play doesn't like reskins. So you have to you have to do a lot of work to it, rebranding it, finding new ways to add unique value, add new features that are unique that aren't on the market, and that takes you could probably do it for less than 5,000 if you wanted to do it that way, but that's probably the cheapest route.
Yeah. Like it. Okay, you want to do our first app update?
Let's do it.
All right. Do you have the app, or should I share my screen with you? Let me do this. I'm beginning to figure out Ecamm Live a little bit more. All right, let me share my screen with you. I don't know if you can see. Okay. Okay. You see my screen?
Let me see.
Okay. All right, here we go. We've got Joe. Thank you for waiting patiently on this. I know, Joe, you wanted us to really look at the onboarding process, in-app purchase screen. Do you get the purpose and objective of the app? So we've got fitness hashtags. Actually, let me pull up my computer first so that you guys can see it. Let's take a look at that first, Daniel. Right. Fitness hashtag. Again, guys, if you guys want the app audit, go to appmasters.com/audit. We've got this as the app right now. So fitness hashtags, I'm gonna blow it up a little bit. Looks like hashtag your workout photos. So proper hashtags to help your content reach more fitness lovers. 4.8 star rating. Just tap to select relevant hashtags. Paste right into social media. Wonderful app. So super focused on who the core audience is. I like it. I think the thing that I would try to use is I love the screenshots right now because I think, you have the social proof, and I'm always about social proof. I think the benefits could be better projected. Like why do they want to have these hashtags so that they can reach a greater audience, right? So I think you kind of have that, but you could just say reach a bigger audience with the right hashtags, easy to paste. And then maybe it's save time so that you don't constantly have to have the same hashtags presented every single time. So I think that's how I would start presenting it a little bit more. But I think overall, pretty good. What about you, Daniel? Daniel, you got anything to add on this?
Yeah, I would say things that you're doing well here are the images, and it looks like a fresh app. It looks like something that is relevant to the times. What I would add on this is really nail down on the pain, because finding a hashtag, managing multiple accounts or managing an account, different social media profiles, and you have it actually on their website. They have the pains, that's the first thing that they nail on. I don't know why, but even we're victims of ourselves, that on our own apps we do a great job on selling our products on our webpage, and when we go to the app store, we kind of forget about the traditional sales model. They hit the pain super hard. I would say on that first screen on the screenshot, hit the pain as hard as you do on the website.
Sorry.
Yeah, you'll see it there. It's really good. Let's see, what else did I note? The walk. Oh, we'll wait for the walkthrough. We're just talking about the screen, or the other thing I would say that you could improve on is maybe the keywords on the title and the subtitle, because I went to search for, I just said hashtag, and then I was thinking about what would I even search for from an app? If I was the person looking for this app, what would I search for?
Mm-hmm.
And I was I searched for hashtag finder, because I don't even know what I would do, but I couldn't find it unless I put in the name.
Yeah, I see. One tap copy. Hey, Daniel, we're hearing some the mic quality from yours. I think it's okay, but I think it's getting some feedback as well. Just FYI, as we start walking this walkthrough. And I like this. You kind of talked about the pain too. One tap copy, just paste into social media. The one tap, I think, is really powerful. So, all right, let's get into some of that onboarding process as well. So let's pull up my phone. Here it is. All right. First time opening the app, we got a key tool for organic growth. Okay, that definitely could be optimized. Look, again, think of the user downloading your app, forgetting about your app, and then coming back in. If this is the first screen, be like, what was this again? Like, rehash some of those things that you had on your screenshots where you said, like, grow your Instagram following, because that's what most people want to do, with the right hashtags. So I think lead with benefits again, and you're now leading with the tool. Okay. Streamline your social media posts. Okay. Again, like one tap. I think your copy on the website is great, Joe. Like one tap, just copy and paste into social media. I like this. This is great. The reviews and then power mode. Great. Having the onboarding process is perfect. All right. I think I get it. But again, I think talk to the benefits of the easiness of growing your Instagram following. Make sure your posts find the right audience. Think about through this onboarding process. Okay. Anything you add, Daniel? Can you see my screen? What I'm seeing? All right. Here we go. All right. I'm going to go into no thanks. Whoa. So quick tutorial. I don't know how you feel about this, man, but anytime I feel like thoughts.
I'm not, yeah, I might disagree because for me that, we built the app and we're in there and we kind of like know the flow. And I want to be able to say yes, but you hand the phone to somebody, or you want a random user in your user group, and they don't always know how to use it. I would say put it in there and have a skip button so that they can skip it if they don't want it.
Okay. No, I like it when you disagree. That's why you're here, Daniel, to disagree. All right. Daily training. So looks good. I'm going to try. Describe your fitness content by selecting hashtags below: medium, high, intense. Okay, I guess it depends on the hashtag. Ooh, Flex Friday. That's what we're talking about, baby. Workout Friday, Friday training, Friday sweat. I think it'd be interesting to see which ones are the most popular, because I'm assuming these are the most popular, but I have no idea. So, traps, shoulder day. For me, it was lower body. But okay, interesting. Let's just pick one. Copy. Great. I like this. Done. I like this try power mode. I like it so far. Okay. Any thoughts with that process before we move on to the pricing page, Daniel?
No, I thought it was super useful.
Yeah, I think that was good, Joe. All hashtag categories. Whoops. Hashtag competition. Okay, that's kind of cool. Sort by hashtags by competition. I don't know, competition is the right word. I don't know. Maybe I think you're trying to say like find the hashtags that don't have as much competition. Maybe like the ones that are popular but like have low competition might be the right wording for that. Unlimited access. I love the social proof element. Oh, I love this. Every time I tap, I get a new review. That's awesome, Joe. I love the little animations up top that's moving. I love the little animation on the button that's moving too. And then I've got some thoughts here, but again, I'm gonna save it on this 1 week free monthly type of thing. I think you've done a good job. So I'm eager to see what your splits are based on the yearly and monthly. But I think so far this is a great looking pricing page in my eye.
Yeah, I like the colors. I like the use of the colors to separate the content. I like that they're able to change the feedback or the reviews, like the social proof, by just
Mm-hmm.
the touch instead of it moving. I really like that.
Yeah, it's so well done, Joe. All right, so Joe did get back and he said, "Here, let me move us. Competition equals popularity," but you're right on that wording. Popularity might be the better word. Thanks, Joe. Okay, looks good though, Joe. I think you've done a phenomenal job, and I like this. But I think I get it. Like, and I like that certain things are blocked out. It's clear what's blocked out, what's not. Daniel, I don't know how you feel about this, but maybe I feel like it's just so busy right now. Like there's a lot going on, which is fine. But I feel
Yeah.
like maybe the color, maybe because I'm seeing so many colors at once that my eye is getting a little bit like, whoa. And I think if you clean that up a little bit where I can clearly see like I don't know, like I just feel like there's too much going on in my eye. and maybe clearing up the colors so that I only see like 2 or 3 colors rather than like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different colors. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nothing? Anything to add on that?
No.
Cool. All right, let's get into some of the other questions as well. All right, we've got Sajid. Sajid, I know, I apologize if you emailed me. I'm just going through the form now. So if you guys want that audit here, I'll bring it up. Appmasters.com/audit. Just go to there and just fill out the form. It's just easier for me. I'm just going off that spreadsheet now. So I apologize that we didn't get there. All right, let's go into some of these questions. What's up, Spencer? Good to see you this week. Let me remove this. Boom, boom, boom. All right, here we go. Vignac asks, how long does an app on Google Play take to rank for high competition keyword even after proper SEO? Yeah, that's the tough question, Vignac, because sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not. I've noticed, now other people probably notice differently, but I've noticed that sometimes it takes a little bit while for Google Play to really get going. So think about backlinks, think about maybe even running some ads just to get it going, but it does take a little bit of time. With Google, the cool thing is once you get it going, you're up there, but I've seen anywhere from a month or two to really get it going. And I think you need to drive downloads for it to start to pick up. Because if you're just like not doing anything, just relying on ASO, that's going to be a problem for you as well. Okay. Feel free to jump in anytime, Daniel. How many downloads and active users?
I'm just messing with my mic.
Okay. How many downloads and active users would I need on an app or game to earn $1 million a month? Matthew, wow. This is such a tough question. I mean, honestly, like the simplest way for me to answer that is it's a math problem. Think about your conversion rate, think about the downloads, and then think about how much you're going to make for the revenue. So like for one client, we're able to get $1 per download. So you need 1 million downloads a month, right? I think it all changes depending on the app or game that you have. Some have $2 or $3 per download. So all it depends on the pricing, your average order size, right? And your downloads and your conversion rate. It's simple math. Otherwise, that's the only way I can answer that. It's a pretty loaded question.
Yeah, I would say build a spreadsheet and play with the numbers. I'm kind of a geek like that. And then just play some different scenarios, and then you can kind of work backwards. Like if you don't have an app idea yet, you can kind of work backwards. Like, okay, I need to deliver so much value to where someone's willing to pay $5 or $20 for an in-app purchase.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Mira, he's giving me more details on the app, the question before. I have everything gone. This was a person that had over, like lots of downloads and 500 ratings. Everything's gone, users and everything. Can I republish? I don't know if you can can I update the app or republish the app? Look, if you can, like I said, if you can update the app because you have the ratings there. You don't want to start over. If you have to put a new package name, you probably need a new package name. If it's still under that same developer account, you probably need a new package name. And then think when you're developing that package name, think about the keywords that people might be searching for with that new package name. Okay. All right. Love this question. And sorry, let me get into let's answer this question. I'll get to some of the apps that we're going to audit next. All right. I'm going to screw up the name, but how do you do market research? How do you know audience really needs your product? You want to tackle that first, Daniel?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so what I would do is you have an idea for your product. Go look at the competition. Find out like an easy way to do it is go to the App Store, search for what your avatar would be searching to find your app idea. And what are the apps that you see in there? Is there something that gives you an indication whether they're being successful? Do they have in-app purchases? What are the in-app purchases? Do they have reviews? How many? And that'll give you kind of an indication on download numbers. That's really what you're looking for, is the amount of traffic. Another thing you could do is then go to their website and see how busy they are on social media. Are they, highly engaged? The other thing you could do is to find out revenue numbers. I'm gonna have to find a website, but there's a website that kind of lets you know where investors are investing in certain app segments, right? Certain segments. You're like, okay, hey, there's a big indicator that there's some activity, sources of revenue, and that'll give you some indication whether you should go into that market or go into that area and build that type of app.
Yeah, I like it. And what I use is Sensor Tower, and that gives you the data too. So I will show up what I see on Sensor Towers but Daniel's right. Like, go into App Annie, figure out what's trending in the app stores, what's the top grossing, and then go into Sensor Tower. So even the full stuff will tell you. But I have this app in there right now in Life 360, and within Sensor Tower, you can see the download numbers and the revenue numbers. Now, the revenue numbers aren't completely accurate, but they're accurate enough for you to get a sense of what the downloads might look like. And so for this one, Life 360, they're huge. They're getting about 600 downloads worldwide, and this is just iOS, and about 1 million a month. And then you can search for other apps right here. So if you just put some of your competitors in, or you found that competitor using Daniel's process, you can put their app in here and then look at the data of what Sensor Tower gives you. So that's what I would do if I were you. That's how you really figure out market research. Okay. All right, let's answer. So thank you, Joe. He said, great point on the colors. Awesome. Another Joe agrees. Agree, a tighter color palette will help. Awesome. Okay, so on our docket, we have, and I apologize, I should probably do this from the very start. We have this app, WordSeek. I'm gonna answer some of your questions too. We have Quartz Timer. I will try to get to that. And then we have Correlate, which I have the app on the phone. So I'm gonna try to get to that before Quartz Timer, because Quartz Timer, you want more of the ASO side of things, which I'm gonna do a little bit more research. So again, we'll get to these as well. I DM'd you on Instagram. Okay. All right. Sweet. Let me get to one more question. Guitar Blast, what's happening, my man? So Guitar Blast asks, what is the target day 1 or day 7 retention rate for MVP? Now, that really depends on the app that you have, because I think if it's an app that is used on a daily basis, then you probably want a really high, like anywhere from, I would say, 50 to 70% day 1 retention rate. And probably you want to be around that mark for day 7. Like let's say a habit tracker for something that is going to be used on a daily basis, or an email app, right? But if you're a game, you're probably going to want to be a day 1 retention rate would be anywhere from like 30 to 50. And then day 7, anywhere from, I would say, like 20 to 30%. Cool.
I like it. I like those numbers.
Okay, we got a great question from Daniel. All right, Daniel, I'm going to save this for later on. Vinintech asked this, but he said, can I hear top 3 tips for indie app developers? So we'll save that for one. All right, let's get into this next app as well. Let me pull up what they wanted. So conversion rate, store view to install, it was around 11% in April. Okay, now let me pull up the app. That's what their primary focus is. And then here's the app, WordSeek. All right, so really figuring out conversion rate. Now and I'm gonna assume that it's from like impressions, so like search result view to then now this to the download. So I think what I would start looking at is, we shared this in the past, like the short description on Google Play is very, very important. So here are the 3 elements if you're trying to convert the search from search results to download. The 3 elements you got to focus on are these 3 right here: the icon, the title, and then the short description. And in the short description, obviously in the title, you want good keywords because it's very important. But in the short description, you really want social proof, or think about anything from a conversion rate optimization standpoint. And we've added social proof for one of our clients, and I've shared this in the past, and other clients have seen good success, where we just added social proof. So whatever social proof you can add in there, that's what I would put in there. So think of them as like screenshots on iOS. Like, what kind of words would your audience be like, that's cool, I want this, right? Like whether it's like 2 times, get smarter with the #1 download, or for other clients, we said, loved by over 5 million people. So these are things that you want to definitely have in the short description. Want to add anything, Daniel?
No, I kind of like the icon though.
Yeah, I like it. I think I would A/B test that a little bit because on Google Play you can. I'm kind of like, it's all right, but maybe you can do something better with this. I know Google, I kind of like these icons. This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. I prefer these a little bit more elegant type of feel, but it's worth A/B testing. These are the things, I talked to some bigger game developers and out there, and they're like constantly testing new icons, new screenshots, new everything every time. And so it looks like you got 170 reviews, so you're doing decent. And then let me look at the download side of things as I scroll forever. My trackpad broke, and so it's like, all right,
Yeah, it
10,000
sounds like
plus.
you're hammered.
10,000 plus downloads. So decent, right? Like you're getting some results, Daweed. I would just sort of optimize and A/B test a lot of those things that we just talked about. I think that's all you can do to increase that. I think 17% is not bad. So, but you can always do better. All right, cool. Let me talk about one other thing while we're on my screen. So I had a friend, Romain, he wanted me to do some keyword analysis for his app. And here's what I found for him. So he's got an app called Render, and I apologize for not having this up. Let me see if I can pull it right here. This is his app, and I have, App Radar. They are a sponsor of the show, but I wanted to use them. We are using them. We're a paying member, so I'm not just like being like, hey, this is a sponsor, but we do actually use them. But Render is an app that's for like developers like us, Daniel. Like, hey, you can get some 3D renderings, make some cool App Store screenshots. So really cool looking app. It's $5. And I like the screenshots. I like everything he's done here. He wanted me to sort of look at his keywords. So one of the things that I was thinking about, because I looked through his keyword list, is kind of coming up with terms that your target audience would look for, right? So the things that is the obvious keywords are going to be apps, screenshots or like screenshot creator, 3D mockup. Those are the obvious ones, right? But the thing that you have to think across is also like test flight or what Swift. What are developers looking for? What are the tools that they're using that you can sort of get shown on as well? And right now, like screenshot is a good keyword according to App Radar, where the difficulty is very low. But like if you added his title is 3D mockup, and so I think that's going to be way more competitive and we can look it up right here because go into the Finder. It's going to be a lot more competitive than screenshot. So I might kind of try to figure out a way to put screenshot in there. And the way I like to also do that with the Spanish Mexico title is have a different title in there. So maybe I put screenshot in the Spanish Mexico title. So here, let's look up his keywords that he has, and I'll put 3D in here. So 3D, again, super, right? Like super competitive. 3D by itself, a lot of traffic, but super competitive. And I think it's too generic in my eye. Like this is for app developers. This is for somebody who wants a screenshot. And so I would rather go after a keyword that is more specific and relevant to my audience rather than a keyword that like, it's not going to work or like it's too competitive, like 3D mockup. So I think what I would do is maybe even put screenshot mockup, right? You see screen mockup right here, but mockup, decent traffic and very low competition. So this becomes a keyword that obviously you have in the title, but I might move 3D out and put screenshot mockup or something like that to try to rank better for screenshot. Cool. And then lastly, because it's a paid ad, what I would also suggest is for those in the audience, if you have a paid app, look at Apple Search Ads Basic. Because with Basic, we've had clients where they have found more success with the Basic than the Advanced, because we think we're so cool. But the Basic, what you can tell Apple is you don't know the keywords that they're going to go after. So Apple pretty much runs everything for you. But you can say, look, I'm willing to pay, let's say, $1.50 because Apple's going to take 30% of that $5 and you're going to make, let's say $3.50, right? And so I can pay up to $2 per download. And Apple will try to get you those downloads on Search Basic, and they might get it for you. And so I would really look at that. I had another friend who actually was starting to print money because he was running Apple search ads and he had a paid app, and he was just printing money. He knew how much he could afford to pay, and he was just starting to really print money that way. So if you have a paid app, like ASO is going to be a little bit hard from that organic growth. Look at paid ads and look at Apple search ads basic too. But here you can see like he's not ranking too well for screenshot or mock-up. And so mock-up's okay, but like I would try to focus more on screenshot because the difficulty is a lot lower and the search volume is really high. So, and I think it's more specific to your app, Romain. Cool. All right. Let's bring this back. All right, Daniel. What do you think? All right, we kind of teased it. But what are your top 3 tips for indie app developers? Take it away, my friend.
Oh, man. All right. So let's say top 3 tips. I would say be clear on what it is that you want to be testing so that you can have a clear test plan on, and that way you know that you've achieved your results. I would say for an indie developer, the biggest thing for our clients that we see is they haven't really taken into account budget for marketing. So we built a product, they focus on the product, but then they get to the store and they expect things to happen, and they didn't really anticipate investing time, right? Either effort or money on marketing side. So that's where you get the help of Steve, and you guys are in the right place. The other thing, number 3 tip, let's say, don't forget sales. Don't forget like traditional sales models, or like, there's three types of buyers. There's an emotional buyer, there's the analytical buyer, and there's the fearful buyer. Don't forget to talk to all 3 of those people in your App Store screenshots. That's 3.
I love it, man. Let me move the cameras around. Okay. So Guitar Blast, thank you. Good point for Apple Search Ads Basic. We'll try that. Let me know how it goes. Vochtech asks, what do you think about horizontal videos or images for App Store apps? Most apps are vertical. What is your opinion or experience? Daniel, you got anything to add on this?
No, we've always used, or we tried the horizontal and we went back to vertical. We just run vertical 99% of the time.
Yeah, me too. And I feel like with games, look, video is important. With non-games, it's been a mixed bag. So it's all about testing. That's a stupid answer, generic. But I prefer, personally, my belief, I like the vertical. I point to like Mario Run, and it's a very horizontal game that you play horizontal, but they have vertical, and you can just show more screenshots with a vertical rather than a horizontal. So look at that Super Mario Run. They're a horizontal game that has vertical screenshots, and they're huge. So I imagine that they've done the research to kind of do that. We just assume. All right, Greg, woo! Yeah. Thanks for the tip about running ads for paid apps. You're welcome, Greg. That's why you show up every week. I hope to see you next week. All right, let's look at one more app, and we'll call it a day, and we'll set it up for the next week. All right, guys. The last, let's go back to my screen. Here we go. Oh, actually, let me go to here first. All right, so Correlate. And here is let me look at my Google form. He wants to talk about, I am lacking reviews, but it is hard to test since users are only prompted after 4 days. So please look at the storefront on how App Store is doing. Okay, and this is Greg. All right, Greg, here we go. Correlates, so health journal, mood, sleep, and symptom tracker. Okay. I think with the paid apps, it's really hard. $199, I'd probably bump it, or even think about a freemium offer too. Discover what works for you and what doesn't. Track things like habits, symptoms, and mood. Start logging like a pro with simple touches. Easily customize with items, no fuss. Like, I don't know what this app does, honestly. That's my first thing. Is like when I'm reading the screenshot and I put health journal, it's just so generic. Like, I don't know what it does.
Yeah, I had the same kind of train of thought whenever I was looking at this. I would say focus on that one big problem that you're solving. There's a saying that's like knock down that one big domino. So focus on that big problem, hit problem right away on what is it that you're trying to solve. And I think, I think that would help.
Yeah. And so I think it's so hard, like when we're in it, when it's our own product, we just want to be like, oh, it's just this, it does that. But then when from an outsider's perspective, and that's why maybe people like these app audits, it's very hard to figure out like like I have no idea. I don't know why I would use this particular app in my eye.
Well,
So
they actually tell you, right? They tell you a lot of benefits from it. Improves your sleep, improves your health. But I think that's part of the problem. It's like you're shooting with like, a fire hose.
Yep.
But if you're real pinpointed on what one thing you're trying to solve, and you know who your avatar is, you can speak exactly what they need or to solve their problem, and you can use the language that they use and put those into your screenshots.
Right. And that's what I would do, Greg. Like think about why you built this. Maybe you built this for yourself. Think about like what problem or what benefit you're trying to solve. Because I think right now it feels like you're trying to be too much to everybody. You're trying to be an app for everybody. Like, of course, I want to sleep better. Of course, I want a health journal. Of course, I want these. But I don't think I would try to get, especially in the early days, pinpoint, like Daniel said, like who's your target market? Who's that one person? And figure out like, I mean, people get like so crazy on their avatars, but I think it helps. Like, hey, his name is Steve. He's 36. I'm 40, but he's 36 and he has 2 kids and he does this and this and he wants this. And so then you can get clear on who that messaging should be and like, oh, all right, here's who you're struggling with, right? Like for me in the very beginning of the podcast, I was just like, it's me. Like I'm in my mid 30s. I've always wanted to make apps. I wanted to make apps for a living. And I just want to learn from people. And so like I commute. So like I want a 30-minute podcast. Essentially like thinking through like who that target audience is and speaking to that target audience. Right now, I feel like it's trying to be too much to everybody. Okay, cool. Greg agrees. He says, all right, guys, you're right. It's too generic. Oops. All right, Greg. Well, this is why you're here. All right, let's take a look at the app itself.
Hey,
Yeah,
I would say that he's got a lot of functionality in there. So Greg, don't be disappointed. You got a solid app. I think, doing the sales, working on the sales piece in the front, because that's your storefront.
Yeah. So Daniel has the app too. Congratulations, you're in. Pattern helps you find your pattern. You decide what you want to track. Again, I think I would lead off with, Daniel's already done it, but I try to save it for the YouTube to do this. Lead off with why I'm here, the benefit, not just congratulations, you're in. Daily entry, track your anxiety. Okay. You talked about anxiety first. So maybe this is an anxiety tracker. Let's get you started. Okay. Again, you want the pricing plan. Oh, it's already a paid app. I would try a freemium model on this. Since Daniel, you said it's so feature rich, I would try to do it. I would try a premium or a freemium model on this and subscriptions. Okay, I like this. I love these little things. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree. I think having a paywall right at the beginning makes it hard as you first launch to know where your users are falling off. Is it the messaging? Is it that the app doesn't work, or like there's a lot of things that you're having to battle with. As long as you can, what I would say is even if you make it free for a while until you figure it out, and just let them come into the app and then use some of the tactics that we've talked about to try and improve conversions, then you can put up the paywall.
Yeah, I love it. I love that idea too. It's really well done, Greg. Like this is beautiful. Everything is great. And Chad Moretta, I had him on a couple of times. He talked about the front loading strategy. Like in the early days, he's just trying to front load his app, right? Like get people to use it, see what they're doing within the app, get them to leave reviews. So when Greg, you point out you're asking them on the 4th day, I would ask them on the 2nd or 3rd. Like be aggressive with it. So maybe even after they tracked one of the habits, like ask them right off of the bat. Because I think it's less about like how many days should I wait, and more about like when is the right time that I'm gonna get the most positive review. So when they track their first habit or whatever it is, like think about that. Okay, one thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Time it to where they're like satisfied or happy. They just achieved something, and then present them with it.
Increasing my okay. Happiness level. I feel great. Why wouldn't I feel great? Okay, so it looks like, did I do yoga? Did I meditate? Oh, interesting. I like that. Everything else looks good. Yeah, everything else I think looks super solid. Press on the item description, see more details. Super solid. So it's like a habit tracker, anxiety. It is like a health journal, but yeah, everything looks great, man. I think what I would do is try to figure out a subscription model off of this. And I think you got something really here. The app is super well done, man, Greg. And I think you gotta do a freemium model. Like maybe track up to only 2 habits or 3 habits. You gotta lock some things, but overall, it looks phenomenal. I've got nothing else. Once I'm in the app, like it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still have to play around with it to really understand like how to use it. But as far as I can tell, like the UI user interface, the UX, like I felt like a taptic touch.
Yep.
It's all done really well. The colors, I mean, the app itself is pretty sweet.
Happiness level. I love the happiness level. I mean, even journaling. I like that you have Aura Ring. I kind of want to get one of these things. And then Fitbit. I can connect with Fitbit. So that's really cool. I love Fitbit. Okay. Yeah, man. I think you've done a really good job. I think make it free. Think about subscription, transitioning from a paid model to a subscription model. That's my number one tip for you. And then really harness in on who is that target market? What are they into? Like maybe is these people that like biohackers who want to track everything inside, like their meditation. So think about that target audience and
Mm.
like maybe now that I understand the app more, the screenshots should now be like tracked everything that's important to you. And then little things like anxiety, stress, sleep, have those bullet points in your screenshots. So like think about that. And then you can be like, okay, great. And then what else? I don't know.
I'd probably try to pull a quote from some of the famous like biohackers. God, I
Yeah.
can't remember his name right now, but
Ferris?
Ferris, yes.
Okay.
Like pull a quote or something like that, and like um, you know, just try to like leverage something like, oh, okay, and then see if you can, I don't know, put some of the keywords. Maybe you can get some ideas from what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he uses something so that his audience would go and go, oh man, I wonder if there's an app for that. And maybe you can leverage some of his biohacking. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. Greg, he talked about those issues. The keywords aren't ranking well for those. And that's because you're paid. Like it is going to be so much harder as a paid app to get these keyword rankings. So I think this app can live on its own as a subscription based app. And I think, Greg, you could probably make more money, frankly. And with the keyword side of things, what I would start focusing on with the biohackers and stuff, like think about the books that are out there. Think about the authors that are out there, the more popular authors. I know one of my favorite books is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. But like those generally have like, if they're big enough, they'll have keyword volume. So like Kevin Rose, Tim Ferriss, they have some decent keyword volume. And because their volume isn't super high, I would try to focus more on the Spanish Mexico localization and put those keywords in that localization there. That's how I would start figuring out keyword strategy. I actually wanted to use a Tim Ferriss quote, but I thought that might be a legal issue. I personally would be like, I wouldn't wait to ask for permission. What's that saying? I'm trying to figure it out. But I wouldn't ask for permission. I would just go for it.
I would do the same. I mean,
It's a
you could
quote.
change it if they ask you to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quote. Like and Apple's super friendly. Like they'll just be like, Greg, you shouldn't do that. Whereas Google's like, boop, I'll just take you down. All right, man. This is great.
You wouldn't have to say like he said this about your app. You could pull it from something, an article he wrote.
Yeah, people do that all the time. And then you can also like use metrics. You can quote them as long as you're like giving them credit for that. Like, I don't think it's a huge deal. That's what I would do, right? Like, or put like faces of the famous biohackers. You're not saying they use your app, but like these are people who love tracking this stuff. The funny thing, Daniel, is if you look at Greg's company name, you'll see here, I'll pull it up. Tiny Biohacks Private Limited. So we are onto something with biohackers there.
Yeah, he's thought about it. Yeah.
I love it.
Hey,
man.
so Any advice on the app icon? What are your thoughts on that?
On the app icon, I think, yeah, I'm with you. I think it could be improved. I'm not so like, I like it. It's not like ugly, but maybe think about like something similar. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm indifferent to it. It's like, it doesn't move. It doesn't provide any motion to me. What do you
Well,
think?
or purpose. I think it's, yeah, purpose. Like it does have the bar graph. I think it's super clean. I love it, but it doesn't really help me figure out if I need this app or not.
Yeah, and I think like maybe looking at those popular books, and that's what I like to do, right? Get inspiration from other markets. Like, what are the colors
Yeah.
they're using? What are the logos that they're using? Because especially the bestsellers, like Ferris talks about this, where he's done a lot of research, A/B testing on his book covers, and so they've already done the A/B testing for you. Like, just look at what's popular in your biohacking sphere. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Fitness hashtag. So Joe, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for forgiveness rather than for permission. All right. And then Joe says it almost looks like a real estate app icon. It's a good point. You know what I love about these app audits? It's like it's the community that provides the audits
Yeah.
too. Yeah, sure, I might be doing this, but it's the community as well. Cool. And then lastly, Jonathan says, "Can you please check my game again? If you guys want me to check your stuff, if you want for us to do this app audit, definitely go to appmasters.com/audit. Just fill out the form. Don't send me an email anymore. appmasters.com/audit. Daniel, dude, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. Man, if we want to learn more about you, we have an app idea. Looks like most people in the audience have an app already, but if we want to fix our app, kind of maybe Greg wants to come back and be like, look, I've done everything. How do I add subscription? How do we learn more about you and what you got going on?
All right. So yeah, you can go to eeedev.com. That's 3EDEV as in development.com. And we've got a free workshop that we're doing every week. So you can meet up with me on there. And that'll kind of get you into our realm and talk about products and apps. So I'm excited to meet you guys there.
Awesome, man. You want them to follow you anywhere on social media as well?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Daniel Vasquez, and I'm kind of getting around on Instagram too, but I think LinkedIn's probably the best place.
Awesome, man. Well, and guys, what I want to share with you as well is we do have an App Masters virtual summit that is going to be happening starting June 8th. It's right here. Go get your free pass. It's completely free. If you go to appmasters.com/summit, you can get your free pass. We got 10 days, 10 different interviews, all going live on that day. So look at the agenda. I'm going to scroll through all this stuff. Got some amazing speakers. And then what you're going to get is, man, this Apple mouse sucks. The day it goes live, these speakers, that's the day they're available for free. So make sure you're on that. You check it every day. Maybe there's some favorite ones that you want to watch. Make sure that you have your day open for at least like 30 minutes to 40 minutes to watch your favorite interview. So the agenda's all right here. I'm going to do mine live, most likely, where I'm going to talk about the 5 critical elements of a high converting pricing page and some of the learnings that we've had from our clients. And again, here is Daniel's website. Look, Daniel and I, we did something together earlier where, it's been phenomenal. Like what he really talks about is bringing that idea into a product, and they're not going to, like charge you for all these extra workshops and all these other things. He really, look, we're all indie developers, right? And Daniel, you got some apps out there. So he understands the struggle of an indie developer. So they're not going to waste your money on all these things that other development firms might do for you. They're going to really turn that idea, help you figure out what those core features are, the pains, the gains, and then also create that MVP for you. So this is the website, eedev.com. All right, Daniel, anything else, man?
No, I would say, yeah, Steve, you hit it. I mean, we're entrepreneurs like you guys are. So we try to make sure that whenever you're building your app, you're thinking of things that maybe just a regular software developer wouldn't really coach you on or wouldn't do, because we live the game too.
All right, cool. So to Greg, thank you. To Joe, thanks, Steve and Daniel. To Joe as well, the other Joe, she says, thanks, Daniel. That was brilliant. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for joining every week here. We're going to be back next Friday, same time, same place. So I hope to see you then. Remember, go chat, sign up for that AppMasters Summit, appmasters.com/summit. For Daniel, I am Steve. I'll see you next time. Bye.